Hello everyone, welcome to Python programming tutorial from rcvacademy.com. In this tutorial, I'm going to talk more about string data type in Python. So I'll open string data type file which I created already, and as you can see, the first section of this file has already been covered in previous tutorial. So I'll comment it out and come back to the next section, which is basically discussing about the key methods that are available that you can use when you are working with strings in Python, right? So there are very important functions or handy functions available in string data type that you can utilize to ease your work when you are doing Python programming. So I'll start one by one and explain what those methods are. So let me uncomment the first section of the code, which is using upper method in Python string data type, and see what it does in Python. So for example, in this piece of code, I have a variable x in which I'm passing a string 1 and then printing the value of 1. And then what I'm doing is, as discussed, that even the literal string in Python is an object, so you can simply put a dot here and call all the functions or methods available for that particular string. So like upper, you can simply call here, or you can call it on the variable on which the string which holds this string. So variable is x, which holds this string. So what I'm doing is I'm calling this upper method on this particular variable. So just call upper, and what this upper method will do is it will convert this lowercase 1 to uppercase. If I try to execute this, just run the file, and now you can see x is 1 in uppercase has been printed. So dot upper or upper is the method that you can use to convert lowercase string to uppercase in Python. Let me comment this line of code and come back to the next section, which is lower method in Python. So it's the opposite of upper. So as you can see here, the string is stored in variable x as uppercase, and now I'm calling x.lower method, which will convert this uppercase string to the lowercase. So let me try executing this, and you can see x is 1 in lowercase has been printed, and class is string. The other important method is how can you use replace method in Python. So replace method in Python string data type. So if you have a particular string and you want to replace a character within that string, or the whole word or whole section of that string with something else, you can use replace method and simply provide what you want to replace. So here it will ask for the two parameters. So what exactly you want to replace. So in this particular string, I have a variable x holds a string 1 space 2, and I want to replace this number 2 with 1, right? So just pass in these two variables and try to run the code, and now you can see x is 1 1 has been printed. If I want to replace with 2 with something else, say 3, just replace that and run the code again, and now you can see x is 1 3 has been printed. You can simply call the methods here as well, but the best way to do is to call on the variable and not on the literal string directly. Now moving to the next section, which is split method, how you can use split method in Python. So I'll uncomment this piece of code. So for example, you have a string which is 1 2 3 stored in variable x. Now if you want to split this particular string based on certain say any identifier, which is comma in this instance, see how it will function. So you can see that it got split in like 1, 2, 3. So with this identifier, it has split this particular string into sort of 3 different strings. So split, you can see that it splits the string into substrings 1, 2, and 3 depending on the identifier you provide. So if it finds comma in between, it will split the strings into the number of substrings, and that's what the split method does. Let me comment split method and come back to the length method. So if you want to find the length of a Python string or length of any like string in Python, there is a method dot length or length, and then you can pass on the variable that you want that holds the string variable. So simply here, so what I'm doing is I'm printing x's and then length of x. So since this string is held into the variable x, it will calculate the length of that particular string and print the result. So let's save and run it, and now you can see x is 13 and class is string has been printed. So the length of this particular string will get printed. Let me comment this method as well. The next important method is removing the white spaces from string. So suppose there are some white spaces, and this is usually very important when you're doing a lot of important automation stuff and things when you are fetching data which has white spaces and all, and you want to get rid of white spaces, then this method is really helpful. So what you can do is you can use a strip method, and that will strip the white spaces from beginning and end of the string. So for example, this string here has white spaces in beginning as highlighted and some white spaces at the end as highlighted. If you use print x.strip, which is stripping the white spaces from this x which is holding the string data type, then it will remove the white spaces and print just 1, 2, 3. So now you can see there are no white spaces in this output. Let me comment this. Another option of doing substring is using the substring, or you basically just providing the. So another important method is the substring, is getting the substring from the string. So what we have seen is you have seen the split method, which will split based on any of the identifier and provide you the substring. The second way is to provide the position of the characters that you want to substring. So for example, if I just say x2:6, then what this option will do is it will print the string from the position 2. So for example, here O is at 0, N is at 1, E is at 2, and then 3, 4, 5. So it will print E, T, W, and it doesn't include the last. So it's basically the range starting from 2 and less than the last number that you provide. So it will print E, T, and W. So let's clear the console and run it, and you can see E, T, W has been printed. So it's basically what it's doing is it's doing a substring based on the position that you provide. So if you want different position, you just change the number here and it will fetch the digits between those positions. The other important method is getting a character at a specific location, which is pretty similar to the old one as well. So in the substring method, or in the substring option in the previous one here, the one that is highlighted, you were providing the range of the digits or the alphabets that you are looking for. but if you're looking for getting a specific character, you just provide the character the space. So for example here, what you're looking for is the, if I say x1, let me uncomment this piece of code, save it. So what it's doing is it will print the digit, or it will print the character at the position 1. So O is at position 0, N is at position 1. So if you run this program, N will get printed, so it will say X is N. So that's how you get a character at specific location in string. So these are some of the very important methods available in string data type, and that will be frequently used if you are doing any automation or any sort of Python development in your organization. Thank you very much for watching.